Radiator Springs was unusually quiet, but not for long. Lightning McQueen had just received a challenge unlike any he'd ever faced before. It was the kind of race that made legends, and this time it came with a twist. High-tech turbo boosters, secret rivalries, and a chance to prove what really makes a champion. But here's the thing about McQueen. It wasn't just about being the fastest car on the track. It was about how you raced. It all started with an invitation. The sun was setting over Radiator Springs as Lightning McQueen was getting some rest. He polished his shiny red paint, thinking it was just another calm evening. But then Mater came racing in, kicking up dust as he skidded to a stop. "Hey, Lightning, you gotta see this!" Mater shouted excitedly, waving a metallic envelope in front of McQueen. McQueen raised an eyebrow. "What is it, Mater?" Mater grinned, showing off the silver envelope. "It's a fancy invitation. Says you've been invited to some kind of secret turbo challenge race. I reckon you're in for a wild ride, buddy." McQueen opened the letter and read it carefully. His eyes widened with excitement. The turbo challenge was unlike any other race. It featured high-tech turbo boosters and the best racers from around the world. This was no ordinary competition. A secret race with turbo boosters? Sounds like my kind of challenge, McQueen said, smiling. A few days later, Lightning McQueen found himself at a hidden racetrack, nestled deep in the mountains. The track was massive, filled with twists, turns, and obstacles like none he'd ever seen. Racers from all over the world had gathered, their engines roaring as they prepared for the ultimate test of speed and skill. But as McQueen revved his engine, getting ready for the race, a familiar voice cut through the air. "Well, look who showed up," sneered Jackson Storm, McQueen's old rival. Storm's sleek black car glistened under the sun as he rolled up beside McQueen. "You think you can keep up in a race like this, McQueen? You're way out of your league." McQueen chuckled, keeping his cool. "I've beaten you before, Storm. What's one more race?" Storm smirked. "Oh, you'll see. This race isn't about playing by the rules. It's about winning, and I've got a few tricks up my sleeve." The day of the big race had arrived. The Turbo Challenge racetrack stretched out before them, with tunnels, towering bridges, and steep mountains ready to test every car's limits. The crowd roared as the announcer's voice boomed over the speakers. "Racers, get ready. The Turbo Challenge is about to begin. This race isn't just about speed. It's about strategy, fair play, and teamwork. Let the best car win." McQueen took a deep breath, feeling the powerful surge of his turbo booster beneath him. He glanced over at Storm, who was grinning confidently. But McQueen knew this race was going to be about more than just turbo power. It was going to be about heart. 3, 2, 1, go! The announcer shouted. The engines roared to life as the cars shot off the starting line, their turbo boosters flaring with blue flames. McQueen quickly gained speed, racing alongside Storm and the other competitors, weaving through the sharp turns and steep inclines. Halfway through the race, McQueen found himself battling for the lead, with Jackson Storm right on his tail. Suddenly, McQueen noticed something strange. Storm hit a button inside his car, and sharp spikes appeared on his tires, glinting menacingly in the sunlight. McQueen's eyes widened. "What the? That's cheating." Storm grinned wickedly as he swerved, trying to knock McQueen off the track. "Too bad for you, McQueen. This race is mine to win, and I'll do whatever it takes." But Lightning McQueen wasn't one to back down from a challenge. With quick reflexes, he swerved just in time to avoid Storm's spikes, keeping his cool even as Storm tried to force him off the road. As McQueen regained control of his car, his pit crew buzzed in over his earpiece. "Dante Panic McQueen, you got this." Guido cheered, his voice full of encouragement. "Stay smart. You say the turbo at the right time," Luigi added. McQueen took a deep breath, focusing on the track ahead. Storm might be pulling dirty tricks, but McQueen had something more powerful, his team. He watched as Storm burned through his turbo booster recklessly, using it too soon and too fast. McQueen knew the real key to winning wasn't just speed, it was timing and control. He was waiting for the perfect moment. As the race neared its end, The finish line loomed in the distance. McQueen and Storm were neck and neck. The final stretch was a long, flat straightaway, but just before the finish, there was a steep incline that would push every car to its limits. Storm, overconfident and eager to win, slammed his turbo booster, but nothing happened. His earlier reckless use had drained his energy reserves. His face turned pale as he realized what was happening. "No, come on, Turbo. Not now," Storm shouted in frustration. McQueen saw his chance. He had saved his turbo for this very moment. With a confident smile, he pressed his turbo booster and rocketed forward, leaving Storm behind in a burst of speed. "You see, Storm," McQueen said as he surged ahead, "it's not about cheating. It's about racing smart." The crowd erupted in cheers as Lightning McQueen crossed the finish line first, victorious. His friends from Radiator Springs cheered wildly, while Storm skidded to a stop, his face filled with anger and frustration. "You got lucky, McQueen," Storm muttered, rolling up beside him. McQueen smiled, his victory sweet but his lesson clear. "It wasn't luck, Storm. Racing is about fair play, teamwork, and knowing when to push through. Maybe next time you'll remember that." Storm said nothing as he drove off, defeated. McQueen, however, was surrounded by friends who had supported him from the start. Later that evening, back in Radiator Springs, McQueen and Motter sat under the stars, reflecting on the incredible day. "That was some race, Lightning," Motter said, his eyes twinkling with excitement. "You really showed that Storm fella what's what." McQueen nodded, his mind calm and content. "You know, Motter, it wasn't just about winning. It was about how I raced. Fair, with my team behind me." Motter grinned. "Well, I always knew you were a champion, McQueen. Always have been, always will be." The two friends laughed, the sound of their friendship echoing through the peaceful night as the stars twinkled brightly above Radiator Springs.